Greetings, my YouTube family. Where the hell have I been? Well, the title of this video should have given you an idea that I am keeping well within my tradition of fucking my body up about once every 3 months. Here's what happened. Look, I may fall off the radar from time to time, but I always got a cool story, and I'm not going to let you down. But I got to build up to the actual incident. Way back on August 23rd, just to refresh your memory, I had like my 8th or 9th knee surgery on my left knee at the end of April, like April 28th or something. So I've been recovering from that knee surgery. And during the recovery of that knee surgery, I lived my life in this chair. This chair will become important to the story. I'm in my basement right now. So this is like an easy chair. So I slept here, I sat here all day, felt sorry for myself. And then when I got out of it and I was able to start walking again, life was great. Fast forward to the 23rd of August, and it was just bizarre. The whole day I was thinking, man, it feels so good to be out of that fucking chair. And my leg feels great. Guy did a good job on the surgery, the doctor. I was walking to my mailbox, which was uphill, earlier that day, and I was thinking, God dang, it feels good to be mobile. Then later on, late that night of the 23rd, I'm on the phone with my father. What do you think the subject is? You're right. We were talking about my knee and how fast I recovered, how good I'm doing. And in the midst of that conversation, I decided to come down some stairs that are right there, down into the basement. And as I'm finishing a sentence, as I'm finishing my conversation or my sentence about how good my knee's doing, 3/4 of the way down the stairs, my left knee just collapses on me. And I got all the weight on that knee, and I'm stepping to the next stair as I descend. All hell broke loose. I go literally asshole over tea kettle down these freaking stairs. I got a marble floor down here in the basement. It's about as soft as a marble floor. And as I'm flying down the stairs, bouncing around and thinking that my life is over, everything always happens in slow motion. I see that the heel of my left foot is against where, if I had an ass, it's against where my ass would be, which is absolutely physically impossible. I've got a rod from my knee to my ankle. I've got 10 screws in my tibia. I've got 4 in my knee. My leg is as flexible as a crowbar. But there it was. And I make one more somersault, and I land completely with all my weight on my right shoulder. Now, those that have been with the channel know in the last year I've had 3 shoulder surgeries, and 2 of them were on this right one. Torn rotator cuff. So I'm sprawled out. I hit the floor like a sack of fucking russet potatoes. Poor Charlie saw the whole thing. My dog comes crawling over to me, man. I'm trying not to cry like a bitch. I'm just gritting my teeth. My wife saw it. She's over there crying, and it was actually pretty cool. I like a good dramatic story, and that had everything that you want in an action movie, except somebody shooting at me. So then I spent the next 45 minutes trying to figure out how to get up. I got my left knee completely, I heard shit tearing in there, all kinds of shit on the way down. My ankle is completely flat sideways, sprained the hell out of it. And my shoulder is, I couldn't even move my hand away from my body. I mean, that's how fucked up my shoulder was. My dad gets in his car, he drives over in about 10 seconds. My son comes down. We have to figure out, I should have called 911, but I got a little thing called pride. And I just didn't want to have all the fire trucks and shit showing up in front of it. I just didn't want to do it. So we figured out somehow a way to get my ass up off of that ground and over to the bed downstairs. We got 3 bedrooms down here too. And I was just laying there all night long in unbelievable agony. I couldn't even exhale all the way. That's how bad it hurt. Next day, of course, I couldn't get up the stairs, so I had my wife had to drive her SUV to the basement door. I mean, it was a nightmare. So I go to the hospital, who by now I have my own room there, and they all know me by name. And then a couple days later, I go, or that day I went to the doctor as well, the guy that did the surgery. So he says, well, I got to drain, my ankle is about the size of a grapefruit. My knee is swollen to the size of my thigh. And he goes, well, it takes some of this fluid out of the knee. And x-rays show that we don't see any broken bones, but we're going to have to do an MRI. That takes some time to schedule it and all this. But if there's any blood at all in this fluid, that's going to be indicative of torn ligaments. I've got a picture. I wish I could post it up here, but he sticks a needle the size of a railroad spike into my knee, and he pulls out just pure blood. Not a good sign. Then he says if there's fat globules on the blood, that'll show a broken bone, which there was none. So a couple days later, I get my MRI. The good news is, it's hard to see it because I got so many screws and metal in there, it distorts the MRI image, but the bottom line is, I've been sitting back in this chair right here. This is where I sleep. This is where I eat. My wife's got a little table next to me. Every morning she would put 6 cups of coffee and, my medication. I've been living literally, I have no ass at all. It's just like a fucking Ken doll, man. I've been sitting here so long. My whole body is just one big bed sore. But the worst part is, I thought, well, let's make something good out of this. I can get some sympathy. Those of you that know me know I love being a victim. So I thought, well, this will garner some sympathy. No sooner do I think that, and I'm tweeting out to people, hey, I'm hurt, God, I'm a victim. Then the hurricane hits Houston, and suddenly I'm chopped fucking liver. Nobody gives a fuck about my crippled ass. And it just goes to show that even nature fucks me. I could have got a good week or two of sympathy out of people, but no. I was just another guy with nothing to complain about. And in all seriousness, how could I feel sorry for myself with all the shit that happened to those people down in Texas? The good news is, once we realize that it's just soft tissue damage, which is in many cases worse than broken bone, but it is what it is. So I walked on a walker for a week, and that wasn't fun. And then I graduated to crutches, and then a couple days ago I took my first steps without. I am rushing things. I know my wife is really upset with me about that, but I'm not the kind of guy that wants to sit around. So I hobble around, the last couple days, very gingerly. Last night I went out to dinner with the family, which is it was like getting out of prison. It felt so good. And tomorrow, I don't care what happens, tomorrow I'm taking my Charlie to the he's right here, I gotta be careful, the RIVER for his swim. Because poor Charlie's he's just glued himself to me, licking my knee and my leg. He knows I'm hurt. So, the reason I hadn't been, there's so many things to make videos about. I mean, with all of this, the North Korea shit, and with all of the political stuff, and the hurricane, and blah, blah, blah. So a lot of folks have been asking me, why aren't you making videos? To be honest with you, man, I just didn't have it in me. And and I'm not trying to be, a victim here, I was just teasing. But as things happen all at once, I literally was still laying on the floor when my cell phone rang, and it was California telling me, hey, your mom, the assisted living place where she lives, saying, hey, your mom has been taken away by the paramedics. She's on life support in intensive care. She's not breathing. So what I've done is I've spent the last few days on the phone with social workers and doctors and nurses and blah, 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 hospice people. I got her set up in hospice. That's what she wants. So she's probably not going to be around too much longer, so I'm bracing for that. Of course, I need to get down to California so I can see my mom for one last time. I'm not going to be able to fly for a couple of weeks. There's just no way. But that is going to happen. Anyways, as the title of the video is going to suggest, clearly, not only is my house on an Indian burial ground, I think I was conceived on an Indian burial ground. Because either that or I was supposed to be a stuntman. I don't know. Not a very good one, because it seems like I've broken more bones than Evel Knievel. Does anybody even still remember who Evel Knievel is? Is he still alive? I hope you guys are doing good. that's my little I'm back video. And yeah, let me get used to the fact that I'm a little bit mobile now, and we'll start making some more videos. For those of you that are in Houston, you're probably not watching my videos. You got other shit on your mind, but I do pray for everybody there. You know, I was deployed down to Hurricane Katrina on 2 different occasions after that nightmare, and I find it interesting and noteworthy that in the one place everybody was killing and raping each other. It was complete anarchy. And here in Houston, in Texas, you know, you got smiles and people helping each other. I don't know. There's probably more than a few statements there, but I don't want to be Johnny negative. Anyways, hope you guys are doing good. Charlie's still alive. He's doing great, and I hope you guys are too. Other than that, I will talk to you soon. LMS Tactical, I'm out.